welcome to another episode of The Reluctant Leader. I'm your host, Gajinder Bogle, aka The Reluctant Leader, and I am joined by Sabrina, who is from The Sabrina Show. And this is going to feel a bit weird, right? Being interviewed rather than being the interviewer. So this is going to be really exciting. Now, before we get into our conversation, I just want to hand over to Sabrina so she can introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Gajinder, thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited to share my journey with you guys. So I'm Sabrina. I run events and decor company called Party Giant. I've been doing that for the last 5 years. I love it. It gets my creative juices flowing and I get to create some epic, amazing displays. Also, in the last year, I've started the Sabrina Show, which is a YouTube talk show where I deep dive in with a variety of guests and we kind of talk about the ups and downs of their life in a really unfiltered and raw way, which has been absolutely amazing. But that's me.
So exciting. I am really excited. And we are going to talk about the Sabrina Show because I am really, really excited to talk about that one. And I don't think I've ever spoken to you in depth about that, but I want to start with Party Giant. I'm really excited to learn about your party journey. Where did it all start? How did it begin?
So Party Giant actually fell on my lap. It was almost 12 years ago. I was out, it was my grandma's birthday and I was looking for a birthday card for her. And I used to live on a road called Chamberlain Road in Northwest London in Kensal Rise. And when I was walking up and down this road, there was no card shops or somewhere where I can get her a balloon so we can celebrate her. So I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, like something needs to happen. And at the time on that road, my uncle used to own an off license there. And behind the off license, just as you come off the high street, he had a garage where he used to park his car. I don't know how I thought of this idea, but I begged him. I was like, give me your garage. He's like, I park my car there. He goes, no, listen, I want to do something. Believe in me. Give me the garage. Give me about a $2.5 grand investment. And I'm just going to turn this into a little card shop. He said, you know what? You're mad, but I'm going to support you. So I know. So we got some builders in, we gutted it out. We made this really, hole in the wall shop. And I had little cards and whatnot in there, little trinkets. And then over time, people were coming in, they were asking for birthday balloons, banners, badges. And I was like, oh my God, there's like a market in this. I started to do a little bit of research. I researched local wholesalers. I started to bring more of the party wear in. And I end up running that shop and building that for 5 years.
At 21?
At 21.
So, oh my goodness.
So that's how how I led myself into it. But as time progressed, running a shop, for people that may be watching it, have run a shop, it's hard work. You're literally chained to your till 7 days a week. And when you're in your early 20s and all your friends are out clubbing, having a good time, and I'm the one always, no, sorry, I have to open my shop tomorrow. No, I can't be part of that holiday because I've got my shop. So it got really relentless. At that time, I also met my partner, who's my husband now. And I ended up moving to West London, getting married and having kids. And I just had to give up my shop because I couldn't be up and down the A40 trying to run my shop. As time progressed, a few of my clients were calling me, asking me like, when are you going to get back into this? I thought maybe I should. But when I got back, I realized the industry had changed. No one wanted a single balloon on a ribbon anymore. They wanted full-scale events, big balloon garlands, backdrops, plinths, props. So I had to kind of retrain myself, learn a little bit more about the event side of things. And that's how Party Giant events started. And I've been doing that for about 5 years now.
I love that. And do you know what? I feel like we are living a parallel life because just how you lost your shop when you got married, I gained a party shop when I got married. So very early on in my marriage, you'd find me on a weekend at the party shop, blowing up balloons and doing all of that kind of stuff. So I really feel like the synergy in our lives in that one. So your shop in Kensal Rise, what was this actually called? What was this shop called?
So at the time it was called Paper Wishes.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So the reason why it was called Paper Wishes is because there was a party shop closing down in Finchley, and they had a beautiful neon sign, and their shop was called Paper Wishes. And I was like, if I was trying to get, and at the time I was 21 years old, broke, like I only had £2,500, which was spent on gutting the shop out. And I know that my mama at the time, he was just like, putting money into it, trying to help me with this dream. And these guys, as I was driving, they were pulling down this sign. And I was like, I stopped, like, excuse me, can I have your sign? It's so weird. I'm just opened up a shop and I don't have a sign. Can I take yours? And I love the fact that it was neon.
I love that.
It wasn't even like a name I thought of. I just wanted the sign.
And do you know what? If you think about it, that was a real smart business move. Because it probably saved you lots of money in the long run, having to do your own sign.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So you were called the Paper Wishes, or the
Yes,
Paper
I was
Wish?
called Paper Wishes, yeah.
Paper Wishes. And then where did the name Party Giant come out from?
So as after I had Paper Wishes for 5 years, and obviously I took the break, and then I wanted to restart my business. My husband's business is called Gadget Giant. So because
I didn't know he had a business.
Yeah,
I'm writing that name down for future interviews.
Yeah. So my husband runs his own business, and his business is called Gadget Giant. So it was, now that I'm going into parties, it was only right that I would be Party
Of course.
Giant, right?
This is where all good names come out from, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love that. So that's where the Party Giant was born. And you mentioned, obviously, the shop. When you were a 21-year-old, it was really, really hard on your social life, and, when your friends were going out and stuff. So then you started Party Giant, and you've got this like event decor business. Only because, again, parallel lives. I'm married to somebody that is in event decor as well. What impact did then Party Giant have on your then newly married, then family life?
It was massive. It was really hard. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and sugarcoat anything. I'm quite a raw person, but it was very, very difficult. I got pregnant quite quickly. So I'm one of those people that were holding her child at my first year anniversary.
Blowing a balloon and holding a child.
Yeah, at my first year anniversary. So I got pregnant quite quickly into my marriage. So this is where the struggle really began, because and for anyone that's out there that's starting a new business, you'll probably resonate with me, but you'll have a one-track mind. You really want this to succeed. You want to give your everything to it, and you're trying to do that as well as having a child and running your household at the same time. And I was suffering postnatal depression. I've always been someone that's really on the go, and then all of a sudden I had this child that needed me to be at home, and all I wanted to was go to work. So I was suffering with a lot at the same time, and it was a real struggle. And there was lots of sacrifices I had to make with my child. Like both my children, they went to nursery at 8 months for my own sanity and the fact that I had to get back into work. So that time was really difficult for me, if I'm being honest.
That is really tough, really tough. And then how did Party Giant slot into that?
Just like, let's be real. With anything that you do, there's no such, when you've got a little one and you're a bit all over the place emotionally, physically, you just slot it in where it slots in. There's none of this, oh, I'm going to schedule, I'm going to time block, no, you've got baby, you've got puke, you're on your phone doing Instagram, you're doing baby's bottles, and then you're kind of researching at the trending stuff. It just happens. Well, It just happened for me,
Yeah. And how does that look now then? Now that, hopefully the kids are a little bit older, things are a little bit more settled. What does business look like for you now?
Totally different. Like, obviously I have the luxury of time, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I don't come from a corporate background. I created my first business at 21, and since 21 till 37 I've always ran the show. The biggest reason for me is because I value my time more than money, because let's be real, just because you're a business owner, you're probably making less money than someone that's doing a 9-to-5 that's stable and secure. But for me, it's not so much about the money. I can't put a price on my time. I want to know that I was put on, I'm on this earth and every minute is what I want to do.
I
So
love
even if it
that.
means I have to sacrifice money sometimes, which I have, because I am not the richest person in the world, but I make it work. No, I'm being honest, you know, but still, especially with the fact of having young kids, the type of life that I live, if I want to get up and have a coffee with a friend, if I want to go to the gym, if I want to just have that extra hour in bed, it's my time and I want to utilize it how I want. So yeah, life is very different with running my business at the moment. It's not as chaotic, but I have more time for myself.
Oh, I love that. I really love that. And it sends a really strong message to your children as well, doesn't it? That actually life isn't all about the money and working down to the ground. It is about your own mental health and your own sanity as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And how do you guys manage? So I didn't know that Raj had his own business as well. How do you manage? I'm intrigued for personal reasons as well. How do you manage both of you guys having businesses and everything else that you guys do as well?
Virginia, I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's a blueprint, and I'm not going to sit here and make anyone believe that, oh, you know what, this is the timetable. I'm going to be really honest. Every day is totally different. There's times where we're just hanging off a thread, but we just make it work. We just have a lot of love. We have a lot of respect for each other. And more than anything, we have faith and trust that we got each other. And I think that's the
Yeah.
backbone of it all. Every day is totally different. There's times where I literally don't know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, but I'm just making it work. I wish there was like a blueprint that I could share with you, but it's just having that trust and having those open dialogues and conversations. Babe, this is what's really important for me that I have to get done this day. And okay, do you mind picking up the kids? Like even now he's out picking up the kids. He'll take them to football. Tomorrow I know he's got a couple of meetings. It's just having that balance.
Yeah. And it's proper teamwork, right? Being a proper
Definitely.
team
Yeah,
with that common goal.
for
Like
sure, for
all
sure.
to make the family environment work, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I wish I was someone that would, I think if I was a little bit, and he was a little bit more structured and we had more of a timetable, life will probably be a lot easier. But I don't know, it's just not in
Who
our
loves
hands.
easy?
Yeah, but it's just like, it's not him and it's not me. We are quite chaotic people. And we're like a bit all over the place, and we really like, take every day as it comes, and we do first, think last, which probably
I love that.
sometimes is not always a great thing, but it works for us.
Yeah. And that's what you want, right? Something that works. See, I am a schedule person.
Yeah.
We have a schedule.
Mm.
Everyone tries to rip it up and throw it in the bin. But you know what? I am that kind of corporate person that needs that. And I really want to touch on this. So you've never had a corporate job.
No.
So did you always know you were going to have your own business?
No.
So what led you? So there's a few things, right? So I know that you've done a bit of traveling
Yeah.
and you've had some experiences from a very young age. Is that what then led you to think, I want to do things a little bit differently?
I don't know. I think I've always been a little bit of a free thinker, and I've always, my family's never ever clipped my wings. If anything, they've told me to flourish, and they've never said to me, you have to typically be that doctor, lawyer, accountant. My mum was always the type of person to say, girl, you do you. Whatever brings you joy, you do it. But whatever you do, put your heart and soul into it. So I've always had lots of time to experiment and to journey through different things. And like I said, when you are that way, I don't know what it is, the universe opens you up to so many opportunities, and it's up to you which one you go out and reach.
Yeah.
And then which I do, I've had a lot of trial and error, testing things out. I'm 37 years old. I'm still not at a point where I can say, you know what, I found it. I know what my purpose
I
is.
made it.
But I think life is an ever evolving, growing, learning journey, right? I don't think there's anyone I've kind of met that's fully 100% content in the role that they're in. They're still learning and growing and evolving in some way.
I 100% agree with that. And I love how you've been allowed to be so fluid and flowy and just see where kind of life takes you. That's honestly really, really amazing. And kudos to your family for allowing you to do that and giving you that space to do that. And do you find you're doing that now as a mum with your kids?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I let them be and I just let them kind of have fun with things. I do, they're still really little. They're 5 and 8. So, one wants to be Ronaldo, one wants to be a superhero. And I'm like, you do you, boo.
Yeah. What
you
works
know,
for you?
exactly. And I think I can afford to be like that right now because I don't want to take their childhood away and be too
Mm.
serious and what's your goals. They're not at that stage. I think I might be a little bit more like that once they're older, and we can have that level of conversation. But for now, I just want them to be whoever they want to be. If they want to be Ronaldo and Messi, you go do that. And if you want to be a superhero and jump off the sofa, you do it.
Yeah, as long as you put a cushion down and don't hurt
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I really, really love it. And, I don't know about you. I grew up wanting to be Ricky Lake. I
No, you
actually
didn't.
grew up.
Don't lie. That's me.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it was everybody. I think
Yeah.
a lot of us saw these talk shows and we all thought we are going to be a talk show host. None of us done it. None of us went and done it, right? We all went and got a job. But you actually followed through on a dream that you had when you were younger.
Yeah.
And I want to explore that a little bit now with the Sabrina Show because I've seen your journey unfold. I've literally had like front row seats and I've been watching your journey unfold and it's been incredible. How did that work out that this was a dream once and now it's actually your reality?
Yeah. Wow. When you say out loud,
Mm.
I think so much has happened in the last year that I haven't given myself the gift of time to really sit and think, damn, from where I was when I first began in February, March to now, it's such a story. So to hear you out loud, it's just hit me like, wow, okay, I'm actually turning this dream into a reality. But the biggest thing, the click for me was one day I was lying in bed. And I don't know if you do this, but I like to forward think. And I always, and I remember I used to lie on the bed with my husband, like, a few weeks before we was getting married. And I used to say to him, one day, babe, we're going to be married and we're going to have our own house. We're going to have kids. I'm going to do this. And he used to say, yeah, yeah, yeah. And now I'm sitting in that reality. And it's something I do often. And I saw myself at like 88, 89 years old, right? And I saw the fact that I'm there and I said to myself that I'm having this conversation with my grandkids. And what I was saying to my grandchild was, I was so silly. I was so silly. You should go for your dream. I didn't go for my dreams. I spent my whole life not going for my dreams. And when I heard myself talking and the level of regret that I had, I realized to myself, how am I sitting on my dreams? I don't want to have that conversation with my grandkids that I didn't go for my dreams. I want to have the conversations that I did it. Irregardless of I did it, and I failed at it. It doesn't matter. There is no such thing as failure. I want to be able to say, yeah, you know what? I ate at that restaurant. I went to travel. I did that talk show. Everything that I wanted to do in my life, I did it. I left life with no regrets. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing I realized is that I'm harping on with my kids. Go for your dreams, pursue your passions. And I'm not doing it. Like, hello? How does that even make sense?
Yeah.
And we all know that children don't listen to us. They watch what we do. So I
Mm.
have to show my kids that in order to pursue your passions and your dreams, you can do it because guess what? Mom's doing it.
I'm showing you the way, right?
Exactly. And the funny thing is, my 5-year-old, me and my husband were arguing about something yesterday, and my 5-year-old turned around and goes, Dad, what are you talking about? Mum can go for her dreams. You can too. And I was like, he's watching me.
Yeah. And it is, they watch every single move and they see everything that you're doing. And my kids are the same. Whenever they go on YouTube, they're like, Mummy, should we go and check out your channel? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
go on then. It's just, really amazing that they can see what is possible. So, and there's so many of us that let those dreams stay as dreams.
Yeah.
So you've probably described about 99% of the population that they get to like in their 80s, they get to the end of their life and they're literally full of so many regrets. What has it felt like? And I really want to understand what it feels like living your dream.
Mm.
What does that feel like for you?
Um, it's hard. It's messy. No, I have to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh my God, guys, it's so amazing. I'm living the dream." Because actually, living your dreams is hard.
Mm.
You have to face up to who you really are as a person. You have to take accountability for your action and lack of and your lack of inaction as
Yeah.
well. And it could be really messy and it's a struggle. But, but, and it's a big bloody but. When you do this and you go through the messy bit and you go through the hard bit, the struggle, there's a lot of conditioning you have to break down. It's a lot of ego you have to break down. On the other side of it, it's really, really beautiful.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm at the very beginning of my journey. I can't wait to get to a point where I can do this every day, Sabrina Show every day, and make money create an income out of it. I'm still not there. However, to know that I'm at a point where I can take some hours out the day and have a conversation with someone in my studio that I created, and I look at the journey unfold. It's definitely a beautiful experience, and you can't help but feel proud of yourself. How many people I
Yeah.
can say to themselves, "I'm truly proud of myself for what I achieved." So I'm definitely at that point at the moment.
And it's so true because the whole world tells you they're proud of you. But
Yeah,
it's when you're proud of yourself that's when it really matters, that you think, yes, I created all of this.
yeah,
And I have, and just, the Sabrina Show hasn't been going for that long. It's only been going for a few months. It's only been this year that you really kind of went for it. And I was one of your first guests.
yeah.
And just to share this journey as well, that you've even changed studios in that time, you've up leveled and evolved so much in that time. So, what we see behind you is very different to what you started out with. And
100.
what was that like?
I was deluded. Like, I thought, yeah, I'm going
Mm.
to start this show and it's just going to be amazing and everything's going to be easy. And when I actually had to deep dive into the logistics of it all, oh my God, what a journey. But the universe has a way of saying to you, "Hey, you're not on the right track. Let me bring you this obstacle so you can
Yeah.
get onto the right track." And I feel like that's how my journey's been. It's I don't want to disillusion anyone and make them believe that, oh, when you go for your dream, everything's going to work out, because it's not. And it's going to be lots of trial and error. For me, I've changed studios 3 times, but why did I have to do that? Because the universe was saying that you've got the space to create something for yourself. Do it in your own setting where you get to control the audio, the visuals, everything. You're not constrained by time, or you've only blocked 2 hours. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Even the level of guests that are coming on the show and the quality of the conversations, I felt like something wasn't clicking, and all of a sudden the universe was opening up things to me where I could go and deep dive into myself, so I can open myself up to have more quality, in-depth conversations with people. So I feel like, don't feel disheartened that you've started to level up, or you wanted to create your dream but things aren't going your way. Just keep in mind that there's a reason for that. The universe is steering you onto your correct path, and sometimes you have to go through the obstacles in order to get there.
100%. And it's the opportunity to grow, right?
Yeah.
It's the opportunity to grow. And sometimes you can instantly outgrow situations. As soon as you've launched, as soon as you take a step, you kind of outgrow it. And one of the things I love is that I really feel this is you. And this is your creative control on your surroundings. And
Yeah.
I've seen both. I've seen both, and I can really see where this is the true authenticity of yourself. And would you say that's a key thing in your learning, is just learning to be true to you?
Yeah, and you know what? This phrase gets, it's all over the net. Be authentic, be true to you.
Mm.
A lot of the time, especially when you're like where I'm at in life, where for a long period of your time you dedicate to your children, as women, we lose ourselves. And not only that, but we evolve, we change. Who I was in my 20s to who I am now is totally different. So taking the time out to kind of reconnect with yourself, to find who you are, and then to show up as your authentic self as to who you are right now, I think that is super key.
And on that topic then, how did
Mm.
you do that?
I'm still doing that, Gajinda. Like it's just I have the first thing was is that I had to make space and time for me, right? I had to understand that doing the dishes or doing the ironing can wait. That's the first thing. I had to accept that I was worthy of creating time for myself. Once I established that and it became a non-negotiable for me, okay, now it was time to put myself in uncomfortable positions, because it's in uncomfortable positions is where we grow. So I had to move my ego out the way, and I had to step up for myself and put myself in events or be part of communities where it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But in those situations, they're no nonsense situations, and you have to show up as your authentic self. Then after that, I had to establish a supportive network of people around me that are going to back me. And slowly, once I start going to these events, I started to create really, really great connections with people, and I established a really supportive network. Okay, amazing. So I've done the inner work. I've pushed my boundaries by putting myself in positions that make me feel uncomfortable, going to these networking events. And now I've created a supportive network around me. Now, having all those three things aligned, the next thing was to go for my dream.
Mm.
And that's how the progression started. And that's where I am now.
I love that. I really love it. And it is a journey, isn't it? It's such a journey to get here.
Yeah.
And along that journey, because, I still have to keep taking it back to you were 21 when you started a business.
Yeah.
And I find business lonely. Like, I find my business journey very lonely, and I do a lot to create a community feel so
Yeah.
that I feel less lonely.
Yeah.
You've had that since you were 21.
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
Really hard. Very lonely, very hard, especially because um, I'm very good at the doing in my business, like sourcing, doing the logistics, but actually I'm not very good at the business side of things. When it comes, I'm fearful of the numbers, finances, scalability. That's not my forte. So I had to really learn all of that as I went along. And sometimes, it would have been nice if I had someone that I could bounce back ideas with and
Yeah.
pick me up in the places where I don't feel so confident in. So yeah, it was really lonely, and sometimes it can still, because I'm still very much doing things. I don't have a massive team in Party Giant. It's me, and I have two other staff, and I'm still pretty much doing it all. But yeah, it is really lonely. And when you have other women or people that you can bounce ideas with, or you can say, oh, I don't feel confident in this, how do you run this? It's amazing.
It is. And I think things have really changed a lot now. Even I started business 5 years ago, even compared to 5 years ago. And now it's just so much more. There's so many more of us
Yes.
doing what we do, which creates that community that we're after.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
how has the impact been of the Sabrina Show with people like your friends and family?
Yeah. To be honest with you, the feedback's been amazing. I think this is the fourth episode that's going out on Thursday. So it's still very, very new, but everyone so far from what I'm getting is really positive. Friends and family. To be honest with you, put the friends and family to the side. The true support comes from average, everyday strangers. I get more people that on Instagram that message me, the level of messages that I get, you're so inspiring. The fact that you're going through your dream is motivating me. That means more to me than the friends and the family, because friends and family, it is what it is.
They'll love you no matter what, right?
Yeah, and the fact that strangers have the pull to reach out to me to say the things that they want to say, I think that's what resonates with me the most and touches my heart, because essentially that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. And Sabrina Show, right? How does one start up a talk show? Like, where did you even start with that?
Oh my God, like like I said, I'm the type of person that I don't think, I just do. So I think the first thing I should have really do is to create some level of strategy. But for me, I just think to myself, what am I really doing? I'm not building a rocket ship. I'm sitting on the sofa having a conversation with people. You get a couch, you get yourself. It depends on how far you want to take it. If you want to create your own setup, some people are creating podcasts and shows with just their phone, a little bit of lighting, and I'm having conversations with people. I think I do a little bit of research on them. I'm thinking about the questions that I want to ask. And most of the time, I'm having conversations with people where I want to learn something too.
Yes.
So it's really simple. It's not that hard, to be fair.
You make it look really easy. And I actually remember the first time you put something out on Instagram that, guys, I'm thinking of doing this. Does anybody want to be a guest? And I was like, yeah, I'll be a guest.
Yeah.
Come along. And it was literally, you were like, I'm just still working things out. I was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll happily support you even in that
And I
phase.
think that's super important, because I feel a lot of us that are sitting on our dreams, we're doing it because we overcomplicate things. Oh, I need this, and I feel like that's why this has been a dream since I was 9 years old. I was that girl that was walking around with a hairbrush and having conversations with people. Exactly. So I think it took me this long because I complicated it. And then when I
Yeah.
kind of really broke it down and thought, okay, how can I make this happen? Actually, it was not that difficult. And I truly believe, and I really want to put it out there, if there's something you want to do, you have this burning desire, don't overcomplicate it. Try to put it into like 3 to 5 steps and just do it. Even if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you just do it. Take the first step. The first step is always the hardest, but just take the first step. I still don't know what I'm doing.
Me and you both. I still don't know what I'm doing. I absolutely have no idea. And somebody even asked me as well. They're like, what is this YouTube thing that you're doing? And I was like, don't worry about it. I'm just enjoying it. I'm just having a lot of fun, having conversations with people. So let it just be. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things when I first came onto your show, you were like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know when it's launching. I don't know any of this stuff. And I was like, perfect. Let's go. This is absolutely brilliant. And I think you were simplicity personified. You were like, I'm not going to stress about it. All I know is I want to get some shows under my belt, some recordings under, and you were kind of learning as you were going along.
Yeah, for sure. Even now, like I'm nowhere near, knowing it all. I feel like no one, even people at that top of the game, they don't really know it all. Everyone has some level of learning and growing to do. And I'm still very much doing that. I'm making lots of mistakes, but I'm learning from those mistakes as well. And you've caught me at a really great stage, because I'm still very much evolving. I'm at that baby stage, and I'm looking forward to maybe having this conversation with you in a year's time, just to see what the growth is like.
100. Well, I might have to book through your management team or something, right?
You never know, girl. ITV might just give me a call,
So, guys, take down this email address, because she might not give it away next year. It might be, you might have to go through her management or some TV production company to get through to her. We can or wish. And one thing that I always think, one thing that always reminds me every time I see the Sabrina Show, I always think when I was younger, I used to watch X-Files. And I always wanted to be a criminal psychologist. I wanted to be like Mulder and Scully, but I never done it. Done it. So if somebody is sat there on a dream and it's still niggling at them from a very young age, like, what they've always wanted to be, what would you tell them right now?
I would say to them, please don't think about it. Just do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, take the first step. It doesn't need to be a giant leap. It could just be first step. It could just be creating the Instagram, opening up the YouTube. I don't know, maybe it's a sport, booking that first class, whatever it is, just take baby steps to do it. And with each thing you do, you're going to grow more confident in what you're doing. And as you go along, accept that you're going to learn on the job and you're not going to know it all. And the biggest thing, what I feel like people do, and I was doing that as well. Like, I wouldn't start until everything is perfect. Oh, it's the right time. The right time's never going to come, honey. It's never going to be, you're never going to have everything done. It's going to be perfect. So just do it. Just go and do it.
Stop listening to us and just go and do it.
Yeah.
Stop listening. And, I guess one of the things around the Sabrina show as well is that you hope it will get picked up by a TV channel.
Yeah. So my dream is that it will get picked up by Netflix. That's the dream. Yeah. So
anyone from Netflix, if you are listening,
give me a call, hit me up in the DMs. You've got my email.
Here are the details.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm really, like, I'm a real realist. Obviously we all hope to have that one viral moment, and then 6 months, a year's time, your life changes. But I'm for now, I'm not putting no pressure on myself. I know the intent on why I have these conversations. The intent for me is to give voice to the voiceless, because for a long time in my life, and the trauma that I've been through in my life, I felt as if I didn't have a voice. So the Sabrina show is an opportunity for people to hear what I have to say, and for me to create a platform for people that may feel the same way. They've got a cause, they've got a story they want to share. Here's a platform to do it. So I don't want to take away from that by putting pressure on myself by saying, oh, I need to, make money from this, and I need ads, and I need sponsorship. Yep, all that stuff is great, but I want the intent to always be there. And right now I'm just really enjoying the process of learning, the process of having really stimulating conversations and learning from people. And I don't want to take away from that, because I know what it could potentially feel like when you have all those other pressures on you as well.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Sabrina. And I don't know about your trauma journey, and we obviously don't have to share it in this conversation. But one of the things I find really inspiring is that you've been able to channel your trauma into something super, super creative, and still come out of it with this amazing show, which is really, really beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. Now, the next question might be a bit odd, because I feel you've probably done everything that you've wanted to do. But if you weren't doing Party Giant or the Sabrina show, what do you think you would be doing?
I don't see myself doing anything
else. Yeah.
Like, seriously, even if I was to just like park Party Giant, but Sabrina show is something I've always wanted to do since 9 years old. So I don't see myself doing anything else. I don't want to do anything else. I'm really enjoying my journey at the moment. So no. Sorry, I wish I could say more.
That's what I was going to say, that I think it will I knew it would be probably quite difficult for you to answer, because you've actually done a lot of that stuff. So what does the future hold then? Forget, Party Giant and Sabrina show, and you've got this entrepreneurial streak. You've got this knack of, just making things happen and just doing things. So what do you feel? Is there an inkling of what you might feel is coming next?
Like, I would love to bring Sabrina show live. I would love to have a live audience. So I'm just looking at scalability at the moment. I want to really build upon my profile, let people know that I exist, and eventually I would love to have a live audience where I'm able to facilitate these conversations in front of a live audience and have the audience get involved. So I want to start off with workshops, and then maybe one day be doing arenas. But yeah, so I definitely want to be doing that sort of stuff as well. And then my husband keeps saying to me, you'll be such a good life coach. And more I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll dabble a little bit into that. And I don't know. The thing with me is just, I'm at different at different ages. You're at different phases of your life. So I know that as time progresses, more things will come to me, but this is where I'm looking at the moment.
Oh, that sounds so amazing. And it sounds really, really interesting. And I don't know about you, like, I shared, this was our second take, wasn't it, of this show? And I was like, I'm so glad it's not live. And now you've just talked about live shows, and all I can keep thinking about is like Jerry Springer. And who was your idol? So when you were growing up thinking you want your own talk show, who was your idol?
Go Ricky,
Oh
go
yeah, it
Ricky,
was.
go Ricky. She was my girl. Like seriously, I was that girl that every day I would like switch it on. And I used to love the
Yeah.
Ricky Lake show. I love the fact that she had variety in her show. There was times where she had really deep-hearted conversations, but then there was times like my best friend did my makeover. Like, I love that shit.
Love it.
So I was, I love the variety in the show. I love the way she was able to connect the theme line of her program and utilize her audience at the same time. I love the fact that it wasn't just her sitting on a couch having a conversation. She was up and down, and I just love it. And that's why I feel like for me, going live is amazing for me because yes, the Sabrina Show, I love the studio environment, but I'm very in your face, big energy person. I want everyone to have a good time. I want to be able to get my audience involved. I want them to be able to be part of a wider conversation. So yeah, that's where I see it.
I love it. And do you know what? I have seen you live. And it is a totally different energy. It's so different because you really do take the energy of the room in as well, which is really incredible. So I cannot wait to see a Sabrina show live. And last question, Sabrina, who would be your most ideal guest that you would love to have on your show?
That's really hard. I have so many people that I would want to have.
Obviously, I've already been on.
Yes, for sure. But But for me, I feel like the people on my couch are the people that I can truly learn from. So obviously I would love to have like, the Beyoncés, the Oprahs and all the rest of it. But I feel someone that would be really great on my couch is Jay Shetty, because I feel like I've got so much to learn from him. And I feel like the conversation that I would have with him and the facets of conversations that we would have would just be enlightening. And I feel like I would be able to learn so much from him. So, Jay Shetty, call me.
Jay Shetty, if you are watching the Reluctant Leader series, call Sabrina, and I'm going to stick her details down here again because you just never know. You just absolutely never know. And do you know what? I think that would be an amazing conversation as well, because you have such a different conversation style. You have a very different interview style, and you've got a way of getting people to talk about things that they probably wouldn't normally talk about. So it would be a very, very interesting conversation. So if anyone knows anyone, hook it up, guys. Hook it up and make that conversation happen.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Oh, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining me. I've had such a blast having this conversation with you. And, this just goes to show I've known you for years. I've known you for so long, but yet I've learned so many new things from you today as well, which has been amazing. So thank you for sharing everything from the bottom of your heart as well. And how will people connect with you? How do people connect with you?
You can follow me on Instagram on _Sabrina Show. Or if you want to contact me via Party Giant, it's party_giant. All the details are on your screen anyways, but my DMs are always open. So if there's something you want to talk about, if you want to come on the show, then do hit me up. I'm always, ready to either have you on the show, or if there's no slots available, I'm always available for Insta Lives as well. But Gajinda, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so proud that you've created this and you're facilitating these conversations, and you've created this platform. It's been amazing. And actually having this conversation with you, I've had a few realizations of my own. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak about myself, because I never get the chance. I'm always listening to everyone else, but I feel like no one really knows who I am. So allowing me to open up and share with you.
Thank you. And you know what? Thank you for coming on and being so open and sharing your story, because it is incredible having you here, being on the other side as well. And I know I did say that was the last question, but I do actually have another question for you, because this has been one of my bugbears. And I just want to know if it's the same for you. So every time we do a show, obviously we've got to change our clothes, right? Because we don't want to be in the same. How do you manage that?
Girl, When I'm recording, and I was recording 4 episodes one day, I had to take a Amazon rail with me.
Yeah.
I had to have all my outfits lined up, and then I'm like hugging guests and I'm taking my top off, and I'm like, it's a nightmare, but you just got to get it done, right?
It's first world problems, guys. These are the kind of issues that we face. And I was exactly the same. While we were testing out all of our tech, I was like, Sabrina, I'll be back. I just need to change my top because I've done far too many sessions in the other clothes that I was wearing. So this is the real problems we face, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Sabrina. Absolutely appreciate you. And your shows, they're dropping once a week at the moment?
Yes, so
On
currently
YouTube.
they're dropping once a week on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, smash the notifications button. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but it just means that we get analytics on what people like to watch, so we can create more content of what you like to watch instead of kind of like, having conversations that you're not really interested in. So it'd be great if people could subscribe to the channel.
And I'll drop all the links down here as well. So
please.
if you're watching this, you'll have the link below in the comments as well. So you can catch Sabrina and make sure you subscribe. So thank you so much, Sabrina. Absolutely appreciate you. Really excited to continue following your journey, continue following the conversations that you're having, and really looking forward to seeing what's in store in the future.
I know. Thank you so much. And your conversation will be dropping soon, so I'll share all the links with you. It's going to be so much fun.
Let's see who makes it first. Let's see if this one drops before that one.
Let's see. But yeah, thank you so much, Gajinda. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Oh, thank you so much. And look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Speak to you soon.
Thank you.